started to get some pain or itchy. This emphasis of the motivation, refuge and bodhicitta. Mm. We just established in a previous session, but if you forgot, say this is a chance while we settle for a few minutes. See if you can embody again. What's that mean to you? Embodying refuge, internal refuge and external refuge. Go for shelter to external refuge, which is a reflection of your internal refuge. And bodhicitta, this complete openness of your heart, warmth and moisture of your heart, which is required to bring us realization, blessing, everything. Don't you think? If awakening is just for myself, I don't want to wake up. We go to the other shore together, just to rest for a few minutes, connecting to internal refuge as well as innate capacity to love, care. In that way, your heart chakra opens. This is a secret, esoteric practice. Welcome, everybody. What brings you here? So, this topic of Lamrim, I'm sure you heard a lot about this. There are many names for this type of genre or this type of teachings in different traditions. Use a different terminology or a little bit different classification, but it's all the same. It's about the Buddha's teachings, entire corpse of Buddha's teaching, and put into the journey so that we can tread. So this is called the stages or graduated stages of the path to awakening or enlightenment, called Lamrim. Lam means path or road or journey. Rim means step, step by step. It gives us an impression of this is something very linear. For example, in Oregon, in order to go to the Washington state, I have to go past to this one and go this. In a sense, yes, it's a roadmap to awakening. But also, we as a practitioner need to know it's not linear. It's a more holistic dimension to it. That means it has a different levels of realization, understanding. Then each city or each town we stop by is meant for realization. It's not about knowledge, but that's how we go about it. That's one way to begin. But the whole point of Lamrim is for us to really integrate, become one with our own mind. Realization. That's one thing I want to clarify. That means this genre is not for beginners, not just the preliminary, okay, I finished the Lamrim studies. No, we never finish until we wake up, until we come to the final stage of awakening, because this has the entirety of the Buddha's teaching. We have to realize it. We have to internalize it. We have to really understand, contemplate, and meditate, then become one with it. So that's the definition of awakening in a sense. This is very important and also one of the dearest teaching and one of the first teaching I received. And still I'm working on it. Although how we can present, how we practice, this becomes so esoteric and juicy practice. So that's what I would like to explore through this series. I don't know how many weeks I can cover and what I can cover. I will see. So this is Lama Tsongkhapa's song called Song of Spiritual Experience, sometimes called lines of spiritual realizations. It's very important text. And I haven't shared it with you before. I've shared a few of the Lama Tsongkhapa's text. For example, the foundation of good qualities. Many of you recite every day, I think. That is also roadmap. And just go. Grants meditation, that's called. There are three ways to actually go about this kind of practice. One is so-called analytical meditation. Analytical, but more like examining, go deeper of the Ramlim presentation, right? Then after you analyze it, examine, study it, then placement meditation. Just rest in the shamatha. Sometimes I use the word soak in, or simmer. So that's the placement meditation. So first one is analytical meditation, then come to some kind of realization, understanding. Then that's sealed by really meditating on the simmer yourself in integrating. Then third one is glance meditation, like a glancing, sequentially going, but not really going to the deep. But we do all simultaneously, three together. So that's the way to practice this kind of teachings. I would like to incorporate. We may not go into the so deep analytical meditation because we don't have time. Also, this is a public session, so people may not be so enthused about this kind of details of the subject. But it's so important as a practitioner. We will talk more about that, the importance or significance of this kind of teachings. Put whatever we practice in the context. We know what we are doing and why we are doing, and in which context we are doing, and also what comes before this practice or what comes after this practice, and also balancing of the practice. You will know what I mean. For example, if we focusing too much of renunciation, just to emphasize out of context, that leads to the depression. No, just like people just bringing that, not really looking into the entire context of the Ramlim teachings. Then just put one thing, pick here and there. Then becomes kind of imbalance. Then refuge comes in. We have to balance with refuge, renunciation, then upliftment of refuge. And we have to have a realization of emptiness. Everything has to be imbued with the emptiness of three spheres. For example, giving, perfection of giving, right? First six perfection is a perfection of the bodhisattva's activities, that is giving. That is based on the realization of the emptiness of three spheres. That's why it's goes deeper and deeper. So whatever understanding you have, that's your right place. Want to use many tools. So glance meditation is very beneficial, so that we know that we have a map in our head. Even we see the one line of from the scrap of paper, like a Buddha's teaching or word, or for example, just bodhicitta, you know where that fits into the entire path. And also definition of bodhicitta, and also how to cultivate the bodhicitta. We don't have a kind of wishy-washy, kind of a vague idea, brought this very clarity into everything for not academic purpose, for realization, for bring us to help us to come to enlightened state. So I would start talking about the Lama Tsongkhapa's Ramlim text, right? The definitive or the biggest one or most extensive one is, as you know, called Ramlim Chenmo, the great exposition of Ramlim, graduate stage of the path. I think currently English translation, 3 volumes. That's the text I studied when I was young. And then medium length, and the shortest, most abbreviated Lamrim. That is this one. It's called. Title is the most condensed point of the stage of the path, Song of Spiritual Experience. That's the shortest one, composed by Lama Tsongkhapa. But also, Lama Tsongkhapa composed this source or the foundation of good qualities. That is also Lamrim, and also three principal aspects of the path. That also we practice in our community. So those are the Lamrim. It's nice to have all these different varieties of the Lamrim presentation as well. You started to get used to it because each text gives us a different flavor. For example, this is a song. So based on his own realization, that's kind of a song you will see this translation. It's and quite a skill to translate into the poem, into the poetic way, so that bring us some kind of experience at the heart center and the feeling, emotions, and even tactile sensation. No, that's so important. We use that. Otherwise, it's become very dry. I don't know how you have experience or not. I like to bring lots of those kind of encouragement to touch something in your heart, untangle the dryness of the Buddhist practice and studies. We need a moisture. We need a moisture for seeds to grow and warmth, flower to bloom.